Do this.
Right.
Can we play it
Nice.
again? The tune is so nice.
That's
It's
really very
happening.
nice.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Happy New Year! Yeah.
Woo! Welcome everyone to
Sip some
the
champagne.
Home Assistant 1.0 release of 2025, or actually 2025.1.0. But yeah, 1.0. So fresh new year, fresh new start. It's going to be big year, which we'll show you by having this big release.
We're putting in the high. We put in the. How do you say that? Like the lat hoog leggen.
Yes,
Yeah.
let's try not to overhype it, but yeah.
High expectations.
No, it is.
It's the
Yeah.
greatest release ever.
Yeah.
No.
Hey, but before we get started, let's do a quick round of intros so everybody knows who's talking. My name is Paul Schoutse. I'm the founder of Home Assistant.
My name is Madalena Mac, and I'm the lead of the product and design team at the Home Assistant project.
My name is Matthias de Baat. I'm a UX designer for Home Assistant at Nabokasa.
Yeah, my name is Frank. I am the lead engineer of the Home Assistant project. But in general, hanging around everywhere basically.
Everything.
Everything, huh?
Good. We have a shiny new release today, but I think first there's a couple of things we want to talk about. One is, if you're going to be in Las Vegas next week for CES, we don't have a booth, but we do have a bunch of people around, and we're planning to do a small meetup at the Rock House in the Venetian on Thursday between 6 and 8 p.m. So if you ever wanted to meet the Home Assistant team, I'll be there. Malena is there. Frank is there. Andy and Miranda are there as well. We're very busy. We're like talking to a lot of hardware partners, open standards. We're talking to IoT device manufacturers about like what they should build in our opinion and maybe how we can collaborate. So if you are in Las Vegas, please stop by, say hi, and just let's casually hang out.
Can you repeat one more time where the venue is? Let's see.
Oh yeah, it's
and what the time is.
Rock House in the Venetian.
Okay, and it's
I'll throw it in the chat as well.
It's 7 p.m. right?
No, 6 to 8.
6 to 8 p.m. Okay.
Yeah.
Rock House, Las Vegas. Well, I
Yes.
just made the slide, so I'm just gonna show it quickly so that people can.
Good.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's going to be next week. That's going to be super busy for us. But first, should we just... Oh, yeah, there you go. Thursday, 6 to 8. We're making live slides now. Great. Good. So, should we talk about the first feature in the release?
Oh yeah.
Wait,
This
is
is-
Frank? I don't hear your mic.
Yeah, I think Frank's mic's muted.
Am I
Yeah.
muted?
Yeah,
No,
now
it's
you're
Not
working.
anymore.
No,
That's
you're not.
working.
So I had an audio issue. I switched audio cards in between. You barely noticed, except for this failure. So yeah, I'm back. At least the mic is working. All right.
Good.
I'm not sure where to start because this release, as said, I think is setting the bar for this year. Kind of like we're not going in with ease in general. The January releases, just easing in. But we had some busy months before this one because we're releasing something today that we have been working on for months.
Yeah.
And not just that, we just finished the month of What the Heck, right? In December, we had the month of What the Heck, where everybody could like share their What the Heck moments in our community forums. So there's quite a few gems in there that have been addressed by the community this release as well. So that's interesting. We're looking at a huge release, in my opinion, and one big serious feature that we probably should start with.
Yeah, it's crazy considering the fact that just 2 weeks ago we just launched something really big.
We
It
should talk
fits in
about
the
the
palm
voice.
of my hand, by the way. It's just
Let,
not that big.
we'll talk a bit about voice PE and all the kind of things
later.
floating around it. But let's first do backups.
Backups, that's the
Backups. Let's back up to backups.
Yeah, backup is a big deal, right? So let me kick off a little bit with backups is not something new, right? We have backups in Home Assistant for years now, for many years, and it has been a really rock solid experience to use backups. If you ever had to use one of those backups, you could use them to migrate to a different system, like bring a whole new system up from scratch if your system died and for whatever reason. And it would just work. It's kind of magic, actually. It was so fun to sometimes see that response to people experiencing restoring a backup and how that worked. So this is actually a pretty rock solid experience. Yet we have fully overhauled it for this release, and don't worry, it's still the same rock solid backup that we have had for years, but we added a lot of sauce to it.
Oh yeah.
One thing we realize is that your Home Assistant is something that your house can depend on, right? And there's a lot of chores in terms of maintaining your house already. And sometimes maintaining Home Assistant can be a little bit of a digital housekeeping as well. And keeping your backup always up to date can be a habit that is not easy to maintain unless you set it up early. And so we make something that to enable all users, not just people who had their, for example, Google Drive backup add-on or the automation setup, to be able to set up automatic backups in just one small step. I mean, not one small step, but as quickly as easily as possible.
Yeah.
So,
and
go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask. So, what is a good backup, right? I think that we always provide tools. That's what Home Assistant does. We have the best tools, but then you have to build your own solution. So, good backup strategy. Well, if you thought of one or you found one and you wanted to build it, you had to build it yourself. And so we actually saw in the community there's some quite popular add-ons as well that were providing backup features, and everybody was always recommending install this one, install that one.
Yeah, this is amazing Google Drive add-on, by the way, which functions really well, right? It's very popular for a good reason. It works.
A lot of love for that one. Yeah.
Yes.
But not everybody has add-ons, right? So we have 4 different ways of installing Home Assistant, and only Home Assistant operating system and the supervised installations have add-ons. Means that there's a group of people that they couldn't just use backup strategies. They had to put it in automations, and that didn't work well. And there was a bunch of hacks around, and now it's actually very easy.
Yep. And so there are many great backup strategies, and the one that we base our product philosophy on is the 3-2-1 backup strategy. So should I talk about what 3-2-1 backup strategy is? Yes. So we have slides.
So are you like the Dracula counting or something? That's what it is, right?
Yeah. So 3 means 3 copies of the backup file. So 1 working copy, right, which is what drives your Home Assistant right now, the working data, and then 2 copies of the backup file. So usually in an archive format. And what 2 means is 2 types of storage media. So you should be saving your backup files not just on OneDrive. So because, for example, if that that drive has a hardware failure, then you just lose all your backup copies, and then that wouldn't be a really good backup, right? So at least you need to have 2 different types of storage media.
Madalena, can I quickly interrupt?
Yes,
The chat is
of course.
saying that there are no slides. I do see your slides though, so that's probably
Interesting.
our streaming tool that is helping us.
I'm not seeing them.
You're not seeing them. I see them.
Okay, let me.
Let's try again.
Let me try it again. Oh,
The
no.
one time we use slides, huh?
And that was the last time.
Well, it worked before, right? With the
Yeah, it
rock art.
work every time. Okay, do you see it now?
Yeah,
I
I
see
see
them.
them. I see them. I see them.
Okay,
Does
3.
the chat
Okay.
see some? Yes.
Oh,
we
much
have
better.
pasta.
You see slides. Yeah, we have slides now. The first time we use this. No.
Yeah,
um,
the chat is
3
popping
copies
up.
of the backup file. So one of them is your working copy, and 2 of them are the backup archives. 2 means 2 types of storage media. So one of them may be in of course, is on your Home Assistant drive, which can be an SD card on a Raspberry Pi, or it can be the eMMC storage on your Home Assistant Green, or it can be your hard drive on your PC, mini PC, or N100 setup. But besides that, right? Because if that fails, that's not a very good backup. So you need a second place to store your file. And what one means that one of them needs to be an offsite location. So in case of if something happens to the location of where your Home Assistant device is, like for example, it happens one time to me. It's on the floor above me, someone broke the toilet, and all the toilet dumped water tubs into my closet, and everything got swamped. So that device is gone, right? But if I have the backup file saved in another location that is offsite, preferably not my house, then my data would be safe. So that is 3-2-1 backup strategy. It's an easy way for you to remember it. 3 copies data, 2 stored on different media, 1 kept offsite. And there are many ways to achieve it, right? For example, in this case, in this scenario here, you can have the working copy and the backup copy of the file that is saved on your Home Assistant Green, which is your main Home Assistant device. And then you can have one of them offsite that is on special surface that we're going to talk about in a bit.
Yeah.
So that's the backup strategy that we're basing out the backup system on. Besides all that, there are 5 things that we want to make sure that our backup
Ooh,
stop.
Malay, your microphone is
Yeah, your connection is a bit.
reboot the system.
I hope you have
I
a
don't-
backup connection though.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't hope your upstairs neighbor is flushing.
The toilet broke again. Okay,
I think we lost her for a bit.
I will pick up because
Yeah.
there are 5 things important that we're trying to achieve here, right? And we want to make this super easy as to do and basically be hands off. We want it to be able for users to have regular and frequent backups of critical data. We want to follow the 3-2-1 rule for redundancy. We want to make sure your backups are encrypted to protect against theft and corruption, especially now that we're promoting offsite, right? Encryption is important.
Yeah,
We want to make sure that backups are tested, so to make sure that they're functional. And just like we said, our backups are rock solid. And then finally, we want you to be able to define how long older backups are retained, because 3-2-1, that's the bare minimum, 3 backups. But 10 backups, maybe you want to have 20 backups, whatever you want, right? If you have the space, you can do it. A lot of people don't have the space, so that's where 3 backups is kind of the one that we're aiming for to try to achieve for everyone. So yeah, that's the background of what we've been trying to build. And I know, Frank, do you think we should show or Matthias, should we show a demo? I think Matthias, you have prepared a demo, right?
I've got a small demo. Yeah.
I do have a demo too, but are we kicking in from the start and setting it up?
I think
Okay.
so. That's
Really?
my favorite kind of demo.
Oh, okay. I'm loving to see that
We
because
worked
it's
hard
so
on
cute.
this.
Yeah, it is so cute to see. So I like this is all very well organized, as you can see. We're discussing about the flow as we go.
We had
which I
slides.
love.
We had
Yeah,
slides.
we had some slides. Yeah, that's the most preparation we ever had on a live stream right now. But yeah, no, let's show it. It's very
do it.
interesting because all we talked about the 3-to-1 strategy, and these are all nice theories, but in the end, like this is something that we think you should not be worrying about, right? It should be easy as 1, 2, 3. Actually, more than the 3-to-1 strategy, it should be easy as 1, 2, 3 and done, and then get it all taken care of. And I think that's the thing that we strive for. Look at that, she's back.
No, your microphone
Muted.
doesn't work.
Muted.
And muted.
I got a backup internet connection.
See, welcome back. So we were at the point that we were discussing that we should make it not just 3-to-1 as in the backup strategy, but also as easy as 1, 2, 3. Then so Matthias is actually prepping or going to demo then, I guess. So
Yeah.
surprise. Oh, I should.
Magdalena is freezed on my side again. I don't know.
Yeah.
Demo time.
Yes.
So, as before, if you
Can
go
I
to
ask you to do a little bit of FBI magic and maybe close the sidebar?
And enhance.
Enhance.
Enhance, yeah, I want to show the settings. That's
Okay. Sure. Sorry.
Enhance.
Yes.
Enhance.
Better.
So
Dark
in the
mode.
settings menu, it's on the same position as we had before. So if you go to system, you got backups over here. And in the previous versions, what we had in the 24.12 release still is that you had this big list of all your backups, the backups that has been created by you or the add-ons we just talked about. And as mentioned before, what we want to do here is to make it easier for you to have the 3-to-1 principle set up for you. So if you update to the newest release, you're going to get a page. And on this page, we encourage you to set up a good backup strategy or backup system with a nice banner and a new card with, as you can see, automatic backups and manual backups. I will deep dive in those later. Here comes the magic. So what I said, I'm going to show you the easiest and the quickest route to set up automatic backups. So
We're going to time it. We're going to time it. Put
Yes,
the
sir.
timer on.
Set up backups.
Well,
Here we show you the encryption key. The encryption key is needed if you want to restore it from a new hardware system, for example. So if you buy a new Raspberry Pi or Home Assistant Green and you install Home Assistant on that and you want to restore this backup, you need this encryption key. So it's important that you store this one. You can copy this one and store it in your, for example, password manager, or download a text file with all the information, including the encryption key, how to set this backup back.
yeah.
Restore.
And so you will need this key and the backup file, right? This is not like some Bitcoin wallet where you just need the key. No, you need the file, the data, and the key. Frank, you're muted again. This is going well today.
How? This is going well. Yeah. No blockchain. I wanted to say no blockchain. I didn't really touch it. How did this happen? Anyway.
So yeah, but this is actually, it's also January. Good resolutions besides backup. Password managers are a great thing too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. This is something you store in your password manager, right? And maybe even like print it and store it in a safe.
Yeah.
If you want to.
So if I press next, I get the two options: recommended settings or custom settings. If I press recommended settings, you basically get our recommendation of the at least three backups on two locations where one of is offsite. So if you are already signed in to, for example, Nabokasa, that's automatically selected for you. I will show you more what we are doing here by not setting recommended settings, but do custom settings. Then I can show you all the options we have for you. So if you go here, you can set an automatic backup. And as we say, 3 backups is the minimum, and do it daily. That's how you can do it. You can go custom or keep all backups, or pick a different day or different time schedule as you like. If we go next again, here comes the bigger magic, in my opinion, is that you can fine-tune your data you want to store. As we learn, like Frank said before, our backup system is really robust. It can do a lot of awesome stuff, including stuff that's not typically just Home Assistant, but it's also, for example, add-ons. You can select them all here. Downside of that is that it might be a backup that is going to grow quite large. So for some type of users, we know from our research, really like history, they want to back up the history. Other type of users don't really care about their history, so you can select it here. So if you don't care about history, you can turn it off, but if you want, you can keep it on. Same goes for add-ons. You can select custom add-ons if you want to.
And if you pick all for add-ons, all new add-ons will be automatically included as well, right? So this is
correct.
Yeah.
Same for media, by the way. So that's also something we know. Media can, for some type of users, you have, for example, I've got a video doorbell where I've got an Easter egg. When on Christmas I have the Home Alone tune on my doorbell. So it's a small MP3 file. It's pretty cool. You can easily back up. But if I store, I don't know, lullabies for my kids, and that goes pretty big, I might not want to back up those media files.
So what's inside the recommended settings? Are these the recommended settings that we're looking at right now?
Yep, correct. These are the recommended settings. And as you notice, the Home Assistant settings are always enabled, because without Home Assistant you can't restore.
Yeah.
And history is also in there, and all your add-ons, including the new ones you're going to install later.
Yeah.
What is the shared folder here, Matthias?
Yeah, so the share folder is, so we have, I also learned a bunch about Home Assistant during this project or this exercise we did. So the share folder is one of the folders we have been using for quite some time, right? And it's been used for a lot of stuff, including some add-ons are storing data in there. For example, some, if I remember correctly, some database add-ons, for example, MariaDB, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I can clarify though. It's not. It used to be the only way for add-ons to store data persistent for a longer time back in the day, and it's actually still around since then. But it's also used by some people for other use cases. Like some people move their database to that share, or I don't know, store whatever they feel like in that shared folder, and that's fine. But for most cases, there isn't really use anymore for that shared folders, but it might still be in use, and you might have important data in there. So if that is something you use, you might want to check that box.
Yeah, that's why the description is often used by add-ons for advanced or older configurations.
Yep.
Funny thing to note, I've read somewhere today on Reddit, I think on Reddit, a beta user was using the beta release. By the way, if you want to test out our all new stuff, join our beta. You can test out our cool stuff. And one of those users noticed the difference between turning on and off the share folder. It was difference between 1 gigabyte, something like this. And the question was, what's in there? So he, I didn't follow up, but what I've seen the recommendation to install the Samba Share add-on, go to the share folder and figure out what's in the share folder. So that's interesting, right?
Yeah.
So that's the data you're going to back up. If I press next, here comes the magic. Locations.
Ooh.
This is the biggest difference we're going to introduce in my opinion, in this release, is that you, instead of one location, your system, you can set multiple locations. So in this release, we're going to ship at least one location, and that is Home Assistant Cloud. So maybe, Paulus, you can explain a bit more about this?
Yeah. So we have these multiple locations. The one that you're not seeing here is actually, you can also add it to your network shares, because we've added network mounts to the supervisor. And offsite is important. And so we have added offsite cloud-based backup to Home Assistant Cloud for existing subscribers for free. So everyone can store their latest encrypted backup up to 5 gigabytes inside Home Assistant Cloud. So if ever anything were to happen to your house, anything just breaks down completely, you will always have peace of mind knowing that you can get to your backup. And it's fully encrypted. It means we cannot see your data. We don't have your key. You're in control of how, what, where, and what you do with that backup. You can always download it from inside Home Assistant, which that's the positive case because you still have access to Home Assistant. Congratulations. If everything burns down, you can actually go to the Nabukasa account page. So go to nabukasa.com, click login. There'll be a download option to get your backup downloaded. We store all the backups inside the European Union, also from anywhere from in the world. You want to have your backup stored, we store it inside the EU. We do this because the EU has the strongest data protection laws. So we want to make sure that we satisfy those all. And it's just included. So it just works.
That's really cool. But what does this do with my monthly subscription price?
Nothing. It's added with no extra cost. So we want to make sure that your Home Assistant experience is the best. Home Assistant Cloud is meant to make difficult things that you want to do locally, that you cannot do locally, do it somewhere else, like an offsite backup. You cannot do that on your local instance. And so that's something that we offer with Home Assistant Cloud. Yeah.
And as always, we make this pluggable, right?
Yes.
So like you said, Paulus, one is not in this list, and that's your local storage, network storage. I don't have a network storage, so sorry, I can demo this. But if you have one, you can already add this one, and there's already a third option, third location, if you are a Home Assistant Cloud subscriber, of course.
But it's fully pluggable, right? So any integration can provide a destination. This is not limited to your local system, network shares, and Home Assistant Cloud. Those are just the ones that are done today. There are pull requests open, no guarantee that they get merged. But we have seen AWS S3, Backblaze B2, and Google Drive as have been floating around. So I was already telling Frank, I expected at least 4 destination targets by the end of January. I've already seen 3, so I think we'll be good.
Yeah, 3 already.
Yeah,
that's true.
It's awesome, and this will be really cool because it just allows anyone to do easily backups.
The cool thing about this is that it's not just limited to one offsite location, right? So you can use Home Assistant Cloud, your local system, maybe your NAS. Maybe you have a NAS to a VPN at your parents' place, maybe where you can back up to and add to it. And then you're like, okay, I want to be really secure. I also use my Google Drive maybe in the future if that integration would land with a Backblaze. If you want to back up to 10 locations, you can, and it will support that. So it's really cool. They will show up here. And the fact that this is pluggable, it removes the vendor lock-in, right? We don't like that. We want to offer you the opportunity to have a choice in what you trust and find, what you trust and find safe with, and gives you an ease of mind, basically. So it's really cool that this is pluggable that way.
Hey, Matthias, can you just press the back button and start the wizard from the very beginning? I just kind of want to tell people, I want to show people how recommended settings, how fast people can set their own backup. So if you are configured today, right, you updated Home Assistant, you're like, okay, it's time, I want to set up backups. These are the 3 clicks you need to do.
Are you going to stop, time it?
I can time it. Yeah, I have my stopwatch here.
You can count to 10.
3, 2, 1.
I'm going to read this, right? I'm a user. I'm going to read everything. No, users don't read, but let's say I read everything.
I read everything.
I'm
going to download this one. I press next. I see, hey, set up my backups. Yeah, I go for recommended.
Boom. 16 seconds and 61 hundredths. And I actually kept counting because I want to see, there's the next, and the backup is done 7 seconds later, right? Yeah. So now we're talking. Now it's 25 seconds from setting up an automatic backup and having the first automatic backup be done.
Yep. Boom. And that's what we meant by one-step solution.
Yeah.
Right. So here
is bringing the 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yep. Well, we're not 3, 2, 1. Now we're 1, 2, 1.
Yeah, we've.
You're 3, 2, 1. You have Home Assistant Cloud, right? Is it uploading?
Yeah, but I mean, we have only one backup now, not 3 yet.
No.
It says store in 2 locations.
Let's create another backup. Why not?
Yeah.
So this is actually really cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
What's happening right here? I really love this one because what Matthias just did. There's now the backup button in the top corner, not top, bottom right.
bottom corner.
It's 2 options. And this is changed. Like previously, if you created a backup, you had like all those selections and such, and I think you still can. But there's this automatic backup now button there, which basically creates that same regular backup of schedule. And this is so cool. If you're like going to tinker at night, like I did last week, I'm going to tinker with my system, and I have a whole bunch of updates pending, like a bunch of custom integrations I use and cards and some add-ons I release stuff for, and I all had to update that actually. And I sat down and I just hit that, smash that button. Can you do that again?
Sure.
That one there.
Boom.
And there it goes. And after that, I started doing all that stuff. So it's actually that's how I approached this. It was really cool.
Of course, my if you notice, so the size is not that big, right? So it's a small node here. But as you can see, you can easily set up and easily create backups, and even don't worry about backups because they are created for you automatically.
But the manual option is still there,
Yep.
which is, by the way, really cool as well.
So you can still create a manual backup. And a manual backup basically gives you the same options as before. So let's say I don't want history. Oh, I want everything. Let's say I want everything. So I press next. It's my test demo time. Backup to all locations. Or let's say I only want to have Home System Cloud. Why not? Create backup. And it's here.
Nice. Can you go to the list of show all backups?
Yep.
So yeah, now on this page, you can now see also the location where the backups are currently stored. So as you can see, Home Assistant Cloud only stores the latest backup that's been uploaded to it. So Matthias just created a manual backup and selected Nabucasa. That means that, okay, then the other automatic backups are no longer there.
It looks just like the original backup page that we have, but with the 2 new columns, which is the type and the locations.
Yep. Let me check. Ooh,
which is cool. Now you can actually see one of them have the cloud location on now. It's just uploaded.
I was muted again, but we have these beautiful data tables now here too, right?
Yeah.
So while we're on this page, somebody just asked, how do I upload a backup when I, instead of without Home Assistant operating system? And during onboarding, right? That is the place where you upload your backups. You can also upload a backup just to your backup list here in case you are interested in that. You can do that by going to show all backups and then upload backup. Oh no, it's on top right of this page, right?
Overflow.
Yeah. So yeah, here you can always upload a backup if you say, hey, I want to have a backup uploaded to an active Home Assistant instance, and then you from there on you can restore it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you can always review all your backup settings. They are listed here, but if you configure all of them, you see basically the same options as before, listed on one page, including your encryption key. So if you might think, hey, did I save it? You can always check it again. You can show it, download, or change it. But be aware, if you change it, then you have to remember at least 2 encryption keys for the well-being if you want to keep all the backups.
All right.
I do have some questions here and there. Is it okay to drop a few?
Yeah, let's do it.
Right. Okay. You, in the settings screen you were just now, I think this is a good fitting question. Can we choose to have a weekly backup instead of daily?
So daily, I've set it up right now. If I go to this one, I can say I want to have a weekly on Monday, for example.
So weekly is possible, and that's really cool. By the way, if you're weekly, but I would recommend daily, especially if it's that easy, right? Just do that. It's you don't have to look after it. But some people notice there's 4:55 a.m. here. Matthias, could you clarify?
It's our
why it is?
favorite time. It's just our favorite time. That's it.
It's
You had
it's
to pick
best.
one.
No.
Yeah. So that's all something I learned. So that's so cool. So Home Assistant is doing some cool stuff at night without noticing. So it's, if I'm no developer, so correct me if I'm wrong, but it's cleaning up the database at 4:30, right, around that time. So if it's finished, then it's the perfect time to create a backup that's as a cleaned up database. It's smaller in size, a lot of benefits.
Yeah, and it's also like not on the whole hour. Like there's a lot of in IT. There's somehow some weird things that people always run automated stuff for the whole hour. You probably will notice in your automations there are time triggered too. There will often be on the whole hour, and it's just a weird thing people do. This is just weirdly off schedule. Besides of that, 4:55 a.m. I'm not sure how it's with you guys, but for me, everybody is sleeping. So while I'm sleeping, and the stuff is being backed and wake up in the morning and continue my day, everything will already be securely and stored away as a backup, which is kind of nice,
It's very
to
nice,
be honest.
yeah.
Right. So this is the reason why this time is in there, but
Yep.
it quickly raises the question: would there be an option in the future to change the time of the backup?
Maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
What the way I see it, right, is that there's multiple tasks happening at night, right? So there's database cleanup, database compacting can happen depending on the day of the week or the whatever. There's some other tasks. So I think that in the future, we're really just going to have a nightly cleanup moment where, like, at the end of the cleanup, that's when you want to make your backup, right? Because then the stuff is clean. And so I think in the future, it will just be like, this is when I want to start all this work, and you wouldn't configure the individual jobs anymore. That's the default. Of course, you can like automate whatever, do whatever you will want. Which, by the way, you can do today as well, right? You can create an automation and fire off those backups at your own interval, or even based on like your presence. Like you leave the house, you make a backup or something.
Yep.
This is actually a pretty good good comment, because if you today are using any of those, like, I don't know, some kind of custom automation or an add-on like the Google Drive backup add-on, which is, by the way, a great add-on, but there's also a Dropbox one, or maybe you're using some of the blueprints that are out there that are doing the backups. These will still work today. If you update to this release, they will work as before. So no worries there, but it's now built in, and this is going to be extended, and hopefully we get at some point that you can decide to replace that, right?
Yeah.
And Frank, do you got a demo where you got your network storage as location?
No, but I think
I have one.
Paul is sharing his screen.
Just made one. Just okay. Sorry,
There we
I
go.
need to go to a more nicer screen. Let me just. There you go.
we go.
Yeah. So, if I'm in settings, you go to storage. This is where you can add new network storage, right? So you can be like, give it a name, you call it backups, you say, how do you want to use it? Do you want to use it for backups, media share? Like this is existing functionality, by the way, but now it's been really, for backups, it's an easy option. It's used like replace the thing. So you can say, I want to add a new backup. So you put in an IP address, you say it's like, oh, it's a Samba share. So you can say which folder on the Samba share. So maybe it's backups. I don't know, admin, super secret, right? And then you hit connect. Home Assistant will connect, will establish and mount this drive. So now you can make backups. Oh, no, don't save it. And once it's saved, you go back to your backups. When you go to the configuration or to the locations, now backups is an option, right? And so you can just enable it, and then your next backup, you can make it will be uploaded to all three. But you can also say, okay, now you know what? I'm only going to upload it now to my local NAS. Or NAS and cloud, but not local, because I don't want to have too many backups on my local system. You will still, however, need the space, right, Frank, to write the local backup before it gets copied over to the
Yes.
different locations.
Yeah, especially because you can turn off the system, right? So it has to prep and build the archive in some place. So that will be done locally, but that's just temporary space that's being used.
Yeah. So it works very nice, and we're gonna add probably a button here. We're gonna make it a little bit easier. We have many things planned actually to make it even easier.
There are so many things that you can add to this.
Yeah.
It's,
I mean, this is a work in progress, right? We're always looking for feedback and things that we can add to this feature. So,
right.
Yeah.
I think that's important to notice as well, right? We ship quick and early. We try to ship a viable product at some point that is good enough to ship and get into your hands. We want to include you in the process as well. We've always done so. Last year, a big example was the dashboards, for example. All year, you could have played with these sections and help out with the development and make your voice heard. And this is something similar, right? We always ship something that is viable for release in and gives already a very big improvement. This release, especially, there's so much in here. But yeah, now we need to see what's next.
Yeah.
And as the community develops more backup integrations, we can see if there's anything that we need to fix on the core side as well, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So definitely look forward to any integration contributions.
I do have a few more questions on backup. There are a lot of questions on backup, but I have a few gems picked that I think we should go through. So here's one from Terry. Will it backup custom components folder?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. It always has. It will still do. So those are included in your backup, so that's fine. 3, 2, 1 backup encryption key is a good tip, by the way, Duco. Thank you so much. That's definitely true. But I found this one from Mark very interesting, which is this UI only available for HAOS or also available for HA Docker? And this is actually a big thing, which we didn't talk about yet, is that this feature and everything we ship today is available regardless of the system you're using. So if you're using Docker, or maybe you're even like very old-fashioned Python environment, VM, don't do it. But there's still people who do. But if you do, then you'll still be able to use this as well. You can use this backup stuff we've releasing, but more importantly, and that's new this release, you can also restore.
Yeah.
Which is beautiful. This one, I think we highlighted already, but it came by a few times now. People are confused about it. But
yeah, Western EU. And like that's how the Cloudflare region is called. They don't specify where exactly in the EU it is.
Yeah. Rick is saying FTP would be nice. Are people still using that?
Is that even browsers removed it?
Yeah. Okay.
SCP would be nice.
SCP would be nice. Yeah, that I agree on.
Yeah.
Can you restore a Nabokasa? Can you restore from Nabokasa?
Yeah, this is one of the bigger topics we still have drafted in designs, but haven't built yet.
Yeah.
So what we want to do is also to make sure that the onboarding is more seamless. So we know the backups is used for that too, not only for like in sense of emergency, but also for moving from one system to a more powerful system, for example. And if you could sign in to Nabokasa and restore from there, that will be more seamless, of course. But it's still in draft.
So how would you go and restore backup today?
Today, so you can pick one of your locations.
You can go in. Yes.
If Nabokasa is one of your locations, you go to account.nabokasa.com, if I remember the URL correctly.
Yep.
Go
to your Nabokasa account page.
Yes, and on that page, there is your backup listed. You can download it from there, upload it to your system during onboarding of your Home Assistant system, and you have to enter your encryption key, of course, and then next finish, and your system is back up online.
So you download the file from the browser. It's a little bit more manual, but it still works.
Yep. And the same,
it's-
of course, if it's on your network storage, it would basically be the same flow, only you pick it from a different location.
It's also quite a bit of last resort, right? If you really have to go into the account page to get that, that's your last resort. And it's good that it's there, right? That's the last bit, the offsite one that you can grab onto. And I don't know, maybe you had a lightning strike that like cut out all your devices at home. Like that stuff happens, and then that's your way out. So that's kind of cool. Matt is asking, can I delete my old backups now?
Yep. Do it. I deleted all my. We used to have this checkbox, right? Like make a backup before you update. We've removed that checkbox, and I've whenever my dad would reach out to me saying that he ran out of disk space, I would just log into his Home Assistant. I would just delete all the old backups, right? Because we offer people to make it very easy to make backups. We never had a way to clean it up, so. I would now advise everyone delete all your old first enable automatic backup.
Make a new one. Yeah.
Then after 3 days, or whatever you have configured, just clean up your old backups, right? Once you have enough new backups, that's the way to go. The old way of backing up is because it doesn't get cleaned up, because you have to it all contains one piece at a time, right? Like we contain one add-on or core. Yep. It's not convenient. The automatic backups are great. That actually reminds me, when you do a restore, you can restore partial stuff from a backup, right? You don't have to back up everything. You can say, oh, this add-on no longer works. Let me restore the add-on to a specific version.
You could actually use the Home Assistant backup feature to get a backup back from Nabukasa Cloud to restore your Google Drive backup add-on. Just saying. Just saying. No, but you can do that stuff. That's really cool. That works really well. But as mentioned by Paulus, indeed, that checkbox is being removed when you're updating anything basically in Home Assistant. For me personally, I update so many things so often. I'm on nightly. So I actually am trained to check off that box, which is bad too. But more importantly, not just filling up this space, it would also not always be a complete backup. Because depending on the add-on, it could use store things outside of the add-on space, right? So you would think you have a full backup, but you didn't have one. So there was a thing there too. I'm actually okay with it. This is just getting less problems. Hit that backup now button before you do anything. Otherwise, you always have the previous night backup to fall back to, right? It's just automatically backing up every night. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Atilia said, speaking of GDPR, MFA is a must for Nabukasa Cloud. I would agree with that, by the way, considering we're now storing backups, although they are AES and 128 bits encrypted now, but still.
MFA is being worked on. It is nearly done. No timeline, no promises, but it's the first bits of code have landed, so it's actively being worked on.
Yeah, we'll see that very soon.
Oh, I see Pierre in the chat.
Is Pierre in the chat? Hold on. Sorry, Pierre. Ease of mind is good there, right?
Yeah.
And this one is also really cool. Can I restore between different installations?
Yep. So the cool thing about the Home Assistant backup format is that it is architecture agnostic. It is installation agnostic.
Yep.
Of course, you won't get add-ons magically.
Yeah, if you restore on a Docker installation, that would not be possible. But
yeah,
you can just.
But of course, I mean, don't go towards a container installation. Our preference is go to a Raspberry Pi and Intel NUC, like a dedicated Home Assistant operating system box, Home Assistant Green, of course. Give it can run on the full network stack. All the IPv6 optimizations needed for Matter and MDNS is all there. It's the best way.
Here's another question. How can I access the encrypted backup?
Ooh. This is an interesting one, right? During the beta, this one came up. We didn't expect it. Home Assistant restores your encrypted backup, and so what is it? And what we realize is that people are using backups as version control in a way where they're like, I updated my automation, but actually it doesn't run correctly. How did I used to have it, like, I don't know, last week? And then they open that old backup. Now, currently, that is not easy to open an encrypted backup. There is a Python utility. So somebody using our tools that we use inside Home Assistant wrote a Python utility so you can decrypt a backup. We are exploring to see if we can make a download unencrypted backup, if that's like something we can build easily. And if that's the case, we'll add that.
I mean, ultimately, this backup system is designed for protecting users against like drive failures or like any catastrophic failures, and provide a way to easily like restore a system. So that's the primary goal of the backup system. Version control is something that we gathered, that we've known about now during the beta feedback, and I think we will need to devise design a different system that might work better for that particular purpose.
In a way, it's weird, right? People downloading like the backup, which has originally is multiple files zipped into each other, and they're unwrap packing that all locally in some folder somewhere in a temp folder locally to find that piece of YAML hidden in some file to be able to copy and paste into their running system. Like, just like, I do understand it's a way, right? And I do see the use case, but the fact that that is needed is actually more interesting and something we should like maybe explore in how can we improve that situation.
The roll back to reprieve.
Yeah, we shouldn't be doing that, or it shouldn't be needed to do such a difficult thing, right? So that's interesting. But that's something for the future to explore. But it's things we're learning as we go as well, right? There's we should like slowly make an end on this subject because we're almost in an hour, but there's so much more ground to cover on this release. But how many days of data is kept in a backup?
That's configurable.
So the default history, what do you mean how much days of data is configured inside the backup is your history. So the default history number is 10 days, right? So the last 10 days of granular data, but after 10 days, we store every hour, we store a data point. What was the highest, the lowest, and the average? And if it's a meter, we track how much that hour, that meter has grown. So this is what powers the energy dashboard, for example.
Yeah, the long-term statistic, as we call that, which is the downside data we keep around forever, basically. So that will be in your backup fully.
Yeah.
And I want to finish up with this one, actually. Will the Google Drive backup and OneDrive backup add-ons still work to restore new installation? Yes.
Yep. That those will work exactly as before. They will just see the backup files, and they can work on the backup files and do what they want.
We definitely welcome back. It's going well today. I haven't been muted in a few minutes. Anyways, the backup feature is not meant to be breaking for anything you have today.
Yeah.
But it does add a lot of sauce to it today. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Backups. Look at that. 1 hour.
Yeah, if you've already updated, just go to that page, just enable it. Don't think about it anymore. One day, if everything were to break down, lightning hits your house, you'll thank us this stream right here.
Yeah. I think lightning hit my house a few times during this stream already. Oh, man.
I'm so happy. I'm so excited for this feature, by the way, to see that everybody like just have this ease of mind. I have it running for a few weeks now. I'm really happy with it personally. Just like I'm not the backup type person. I think I never ever had a backup, to be honest. Now I have. It actually feels good.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And this has been a collaboration of every possible team working on Home Assistant, right? So obviously product and design, done a lot of research, a lot of exploration. How do other systems provide backups? What are the right backup strategies? How do we give people peace of mind, but also how do you all package it up, right? So that it's easy to use and you don't think about it. But then when we started building it, like Home Assistant operating system is restoring, like is controlled by the supervisor, and they're making and restoring backups for Home Assistant OS and for Home Assistant Supervise. But Container, they needed their own backup implementation, and they already had a creation of backups, but not restore. And we had to align all these riders, and it's been a lot of work to. And in that process, we made everything pluggable. So now you can have Home Assistant Cloud and all the other features. So this has been the reason this has been so many months in the making is because we had to tune, tweak, and change the system across every layer, so that in the end, you as a user, you just click next, recommended setting.
What was it? 8
Yep.
seconds?
8 seconds. Yeah.
It's amazing how so much work is involved to make it so simple in one step.
Yeah.
This is one of the things that you feel like is being simple and turns out to be complex, like every step of the way. It was this was an interesting project. I really enjoyed it, and thank you so much, Matthias, because you have doing a lot of work on this regard. Very well done. And also, like everybody else, by the way, at Nabukasa and in the community,
lot of
that is
people.
getting. There's so many people that it's too much to call out, actually. But
Yeah.
everybody,
Not
thank you
only
so
me.
much.
I feel honored,
No.
but it's not only me. No.
You've been on top of the UX, and that drove a lot of the things. But everybody has chipped in. That I agree on. There was somebody saying one thing that I found interesting, but I think I already scrolled off my screen. I should have marked it. How to monitor if something goes wrong, and we didn't tell anything about that.
Oh yeah, that's actually a
Um,
really cool part of the feature.
And I actually
Oh,
think
yeah.
I have one that goes wrong in one of my dev instances. So let me quickly share what happens if a backup fails. Here we go. So this is a dev backup. There's a repair here because an automated backup could not be uploaded to a configured location. So it will alert you if there's something wrong with the backup.
Yeah.
There we
So
go.
the repair system that I guess it's like 2 years old or something right now.
Yeah.
But it's been really, really beneficial because this can give you like a permanent, persistent, like, hey, the backup's failed. You need to make a new backup setup.
And also something we learned during beta is that people want to have an action so they can automate on this. For example, send a notification or whatever. I think that's also
Cool.
learning we take into account.
Yeah.
There are if you really want to do that right now, it's not really friendly, but you could monitor the events of the repair center and then trigger something on that. It's not the most friendly way, but it could be done.
Yeah.
Backups.
Yes.
Oh, we're not stopping this subject. I'm going to cut off this subject
Yes.
right now.
Yes.
Thank you so much, everybody. I hope you enjoy it. Let us know what you think. I feel there will be quite a few comments and feedback that we've seen during beta as well. Please remember, this has been this is a huge undertaking with a lot of steps. I think we have a solid base now to build on top. We're definitely not done building out this feature set. But it is so much better than everything we had before this. So let's gather feedback and let's figure out what to do, and let's build integrations on top of it that supports more locations and add more features that more people want in the future. But this is
Maybe
a
I
good
got a
start.
last question. Can you create your own automation for
Yes.
your own? So if you want to create your own custom schedule, you can, right? That's still an option.
Yep.
Yes.
Still there. And there are many blueprints out there that already do that will keep functioning as is.
Good. Before we continue with the rest of the release, can we talk a little bit about this device? Home Assistant Voice Preview Edition. If you have missed the launch from 2 weeks ago, it's been 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
We launched a voice assistant. It can run locally, it can run in the cloud, and a lot of you have liked it, and we sold out. We sold out all the units
You
that were
want
at
one?
distributors. It's kind of interesting because we were like, oh, this time we delayed it a month. We made sure that distributors had stock and everybody was happy. And then we launched, and like Ameridroid, they wrote that they sold out in 23 minutes from the start of the live stream. Like, there was not even a chance for people, right? So We are starting with orders. We're shipping out stuff to distributors again. Some distributors have just received some stock because we're stuck at the border, these kind of things. So it is happening. More is coming. We've also kicked off another manufacturing run to make sure that there will be enough stock going into the year. So yeah, definitely try it out. We are planning a update Year of the Voice chapter. Year of the Voice. Yes, this is the third year, but
Third year.
chapter 9 will happen.
Years of the voice.
And we thought it would happen in this month, but it's going to be happening next month. We have some cool stuff, how to run voice, fully local, with a limited synthesis set, Raspberry speech. We showed it already on the stream 2 weeks ago. Mike is chugging along very nicely. It will be very cool. So lots of cool stuff happening also in the AI world, by the way. We got some cool updates there as well. Those are all going to be for next month. But keep an eye on your distributors. We hope that within a week or two, they should have more stock. And don't buy 5, just buy 1, let it try it out, because there's other people in the community as well, right? So, yes.
Or 2.
Or 2. Yeah. 1 for each floor.
1 for each floor.
Yes. So that was the little voice intermezzo.
There's really cool stuff coming for voice, and I really enjoyed the device. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
It's,
I've also the one thing I just one last thing. If you're Maker World, you search on Home Assistant voice. There's already people publishing like custom mounts, like the SCADA's mount, vertical mount, the Pokemon thing, and like it's cool. Yeah,
it's so cool to see like those little stands, like look like feet where you can put it in vertically.
Yeah.
A lot.
That was nice.
I've seen it.
Oh, should we raffle out a Home Assistant voice PE at the Rock House at CES next week? If you're in Vegas, you have a chance to win a Home Assistant voice PE.
Come by at least.
Good.
Good. Yes. Backups, voice PE. But let's get into month of what the heck. Because December was a crazy month. This was the busiest month of what the heck I've ever seen. And I actually, now I say this, I realize that I haven't looked up the numbers. But it must be huge. I really don't know. It's a lot. I cannot even see the numbers. Doesn't matter.
Where are the numbers? I have the page open.
Yeah, no, you need to go to your admin and then like generate a graph with a filter, and I don't know. No time.
Okay.
It broke our forums. Yes, Missy, it broke our forums. Indeed.
It ran on a potato, so we upgraded.
I mean, it was running on like a $400 a month potato, just so you know.
Yeah, we use a better potato, a more expensive potato.
Now it's a bigger potato. Yeah. This, by the way, if people are wondering, like the forums, the server, the maintenance, right? This is the kind of stuff that the Open Home Foundation pays for with the money it receives from Nabukasa, from Home Assistant Cloud. So if you want to support what we're doing for backups, for voice, for the dashboard stuff that we're building, for hosting the forums, for paying our salaries, please subscribe to Home Assistant Cloud by Nabukasa. The revenue goes directly into the Open Home Foundation and pays people just working on keeping the project running, right? We're the #1 open source project in the world, most active, 21,000 people work on it. That is a lot of organizational work that we are doing day to day. And on top of that, we're also then helping drive vision, product direction, and all these other things. So lots of work. You like what we're doing, please support us.
Yep. Thank you so much for supporting us, if you have already.
Oh, somebody's saying what forms? Community.homeassistant.io. It's quite large. But yeah, the month for the hack. In case you have missed it, it was a month where everybody could share their opinion and their what the heck moments, or like anything you had on Home Assistant you wanted to share with us in a level way, right? In a low barrier way, in a way that you could just say, create topic, give it a title, write a few lines about your opinion or the thing that annoys you or the thing that you really missing in Home Assistant. And a lot of people did. And all these topics have been voted on, discussed on, and it has been amazing. But there were also things in there that some of them have been low-hanging fruit or quite a few face palm moments, I would say. I've seen topics that I was like, really? Is that how it works? Is it that broken? Like, how is that even possible, right? How have we never seen this? And actually, a bunch of contributors have jumped in, especially JP has jumped in a lot in fixing a bunch of these reports. And yeah, this release is shining with all of that stuff. So I want to dive into a few. I don't know, Madalena. No, that's not a what the heck one. I know you have
Yeah.
one, but that's not a what the
Yeah,
heck one.
let's wait a little bit
Oh.
for that.
Who solved the first?
I don't know. It's some guy that has like the Nabukasa haircut, like
Yeah,
most
I don't
people.
know.
Oh yeah, who's the first one?
I no. There was a what the heck. Somebody asked like, why is not the full context provided when you do a sentence trigger, so you can see which device it is, which user, all these things. And we actually did provide device, but we didn't provide all the text the user had set and all these things. So yeah, I fixed it. We just added the full context, and so people can make more extensive sentence triggers. Oh, and if you don't know what a sentence trigger is, you can register your own sentences to work with Home Assistant voice. So it's really cool.
Let me show that, because I have a few things that are regarding automations anyway. Let me resize my screen a little bit so it's a little bit bigger here. Well, without actually having. Oh, I'm messing up. Okay, let's keep it at this. Let's say I create an automation, a new one. And then the sentence trigger you wanted to show, right? So if you want to know what a sentence trigger is, you can say turn on party mode. So if I now say to my voice assistant, turn on party mode, it will trigger this one. That's basically what a sentence trigger does. And all the information on which device that triggered it and what you've said and when and who and whatnot, which device I think might be, right? That's interesting. That will show up in the trigger data then, so you could automate with that. So one of the biggest what the heck facepalm moments I've seen solve this release is that what happens? Oh, we're back again. Okay, sorry about that intermezzo. Is that if you click something in the sidebar, you would actually lose your automation previously. And that was such a weird thing to
We
realize.
just lost all the progress.
It was one of those things where I'm like, how long did we have this? Has this been there forever? And why?
Yeah. So this has now been fixed. This was a what the heck moment. And I think this is a great example of a what the heck moment. Previously, if you would click on the sidebar, you would just navigate away and your automation that you've been working on would have been lost. And it's crazy. So yeah. Fixed.
JP is in the chat. Thanks, JP.
Thanks,
Hey,
JP.
JP. Thank you, mate. That's so awesome.
For everyone, he's called, I'm going to pronounce it terribly, Jean-Philippe Benecke. I don't know if it's correct.
Jean-Philippe.
We should have a French text-to-speech voice, you know.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Nice.
There's another one in here, and that's if you create an automation. What you used to do is then go back into like your list of automations and then like set the labels on them and put them in categories and organize all this stuff. And the what the heck moment here was, why can't I do that directly? So now you can.
Nice.
That is, it's just nice. Like this is my amazing automation. And I want to add a description. Here we go. And maybe add a label to it as well. Put it in a category, which is an organized category. Oh, this is a label. Category. Lightning, of course. I don't know. And assign it to an area. Like the fact that I can do this all now when I create this automation.
It's very good. I mean, I was missing this the other day, so I was glad that somebody already complained about it and fixed it.
Before you have to save it first, and then there was a bug that you cannot go in and edit either. You have to go out and then go back in, and then you can edit the properties of the entity, automation entity. Then you can change the label and the area of the automation. But now you can do it in one step.
Yep. So that's a really cool addition. What else did we got? Let me think. We have something in Home Assistant called, maybe you have never heard of it, but we have something called the Quick Bar.
No, wait.
You-
Every time we show this on the stream, people are like, "Whoa, what is this? How do I get this?"
Yeah. Yeah. So let me start with that moment then. If you press the C key from Command on your keyboard while you're in Home Assistant, so let me do that real quick right here, and I go, then this thing will pop up, and I can navigate around Home Assistant with my keyboard and go quickly to backups, like just
Boom.
pressing C and search. Right? Isn't this like mind-boggling? It's really cool.
Whoa.
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I can do the same by pressing the E on my keyboard for searching for the entities. So that's kind of nice, right? And so with C for command and E for entity, which is really cool. So the what the heck was, why can't I do this for devices? Yeah, good what the heck moment indeed.
Good
So now
point.
you can press the D. Not on this system. I'm not sure why. There is insert. I have FIM mode enabled. I'm not sure. I don't use. Never mind. Anyways, I can use the key and then search. You can search through your
Nice.
through your different devices and navigate there. Really cool.
There's we added one more.
We did.
Yeah. Can you press the A button?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
There
Now on
we
any
go.
page you can run assist. Now you notice here the microphone is not available. That's because Frank is browsing over a local IP address and not over a HTTPS URL. And the browsers, not us, they restrict microphone access unless you're over an encrypted connection.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is a fiddling instance, so I don't have much enabled here.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's indeed true. But the nice thing is, though, if you press A, there's not just this dialog pops up, but it also focuses the text field. So that would just work.
Yes.
Yeah. The thing that I imagine that would be really cool is like if I have like a dashboard mounted on like, living room, and if I have like a quick small keypad, like one of those like that you can have like a small one like this that is mounted next to it, then you can have
Ooh.
the few keys that is just for A, D, and E, and you can like bring up assist quickly with just a button.
That'd be cool.
That would be awesome.
Okay, Frank, there is one keyboard shortcut that we haven't discussed yet. It's not new, but I wanna, in this grand scheme of showing all the keyboard shortcuts, show it. Can you press the back button real quick? So this works on like pages that are linkable. So right now, if we go back to backups, if you hit the letter M of my, and now this opens in a new tab on Frank's computer.
Oh, it doesn't because I'm VI mode. Yeah, I can share this.
If you hit the
down.
letter M, you go
Frank
to
and his
My Home
Vim.
Assistant. And My Home Assistant allows you to create a link to that page that you can share to other people that will link to a Home Assistant on their instance on that page, because we all have different URLs for Home Assistant. And My Home Assistant, you give them that My Home Assistant /redirect backup link, boom, it will go to their own instance. If you're on the forums, you can actually scroll down. You can copy Markdown. You can copy it also as HTML. So yeah, My Home Assistant is great. If you ever need to help somebody, just go to the page in your instance, hit M, and you can get a link to share.
In that same regard, I can share another hotkey because that is also a what the heck thing. And we're not done with hotkeys yet.
Wait, Frank, I was going to say, we're looking at,
Yeah, I know. I'm going back. So let me go to my entities here by navigating. And these are a lot of entities. And this is a messy system, as you can tell. But that's not the point. If you want to search for something in this table, you would have been... some people would do like the Control F thing, like the Command F thing in the browser, and then search through this table. But that's not how this table works, because the tables in Home Assistant are not real tables. right? These tables are huge. They contain sometimes thousands of entities on some systems that will bog down your browser. So it actually only shows and renders what's in the viewport right now, the thing that's in your screen, and everything outside of that isn't there. So if you would search, it would never find anything besides everything else in your screen. So what's done now, I think it's also by JP, by the way, but if you now hit Command F and search for it, it will actually focus the search that does work for you. So if you're like wired in your brain to like hit Command F, Control F, whatever platform you're using, it will focus that search and that will just work.
Nice.
Nice.
Right?
Yep.
So amazing quality of life addition there, to do a lot of keyboard stuff. Remember the keys: A for assist, E for entity, C for command, D for device, and I'm forgetting something. I'm not sure. Control F. M for my link sharing.
Yeah.
Quite a few links.
One day we will get Command K and just unify.
I hope. Yes.
Yeah.
We even got a design ready. Ooh.
Yeah.
One of the first designs, I feel. And there's still a PR from Second Drop that is like,
yeah.
Oh well.
Oh well.
But it doesn't end here. I've seen a friend of mine in the chat, by the way, Wouter, who's asking for this for years, but it's finally here. If we have a sensor right here, I'm going to show you another little trick.
This is huge.
This is huge.
This
is my outdoor temperature sensor. It's pretty cold outside right now. It's a degree Celsius. There's this little hidden secret, and this one is mind blowing too. This one existed for years. Like I think this is in Home Assistant for 6+ years at least.
That one.
But if you double click the top bar, the title, bam, it goes max screen. Well, it doesn't do that much on my screen.
I can see more charts. This is handy.
So this is cool, right? But there's more here.
Yeah.
If I hold my command key, I'm on a Mac. If you're on Windows,
it's control key for Windows or Linux.
I can do something, but if I just scroll, you already see the hint.
Wait.
If I hold my command key, look at this.
No.
Enhance.
Right? And then I can even pan around if I want to and zoom out again. There's this little reset button here that just pops me back. And look at that nice floating animation in there, like that, like a little micro animation. I like that.
Ooh.
And there's more to it. There's more. Wait, there's more, Mike. This is amazing discoveries, right, Mike? Back in the day. Anyways, if you hold the control key, you can also like drag the part you want to zoom into.
Nice.
There we go.
I just want to see the area that you want. The time it. Hear it.
Nice.
The cool thing about this is this works on every single graph in Home Assistant. Not just here in this entity thing, but in this entity more info dialog, but also on your graph page, for example. And even, I believe, for binary sensors.
It works with binary sensors on the history page too.
Yeah. Well, this is not a good one. Oh, look at here. So I can actually zoom into here to get a better understanding of what happened here.
Nice.
Instead of all these like small lines. So that's nice, huh?
Yeah, this has been a very good quality of life improvement.
So right now there are some limits to this feature, but it's still work in progress, right? I mean, this shows the last 24 hours of the history, and you cannot pan beyond those 24 hours.
Nope.
Yeah.
That's definitely true. Yet, indeed. However, if you are on the history page, right, on the history tab, you could specify the time frame you want to look into and zoom into. So that's definitely possible from that perspective. So that definitely works.
No infinite scroll yet, but there's definitely zoom and pan already available.
Yeah, infinite. I mean, we'll get there.
We'll get there. Yeah. But I think this is a huge step ahead. Like it used to be just static, and you can't really see all the nuances in the data. Now you can.
Yeah.
What else do we
I
have?
see
on
a
what the heck?
question about does it also work on mobile?
Yes.
Pinch to zoom. Nice.
Cool. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that does work. Who was at the door? Actually, it was a DHL delivering some. Actually, I'm not sure. Some laser leveling thing. Anyways,
Hey, I ordered a laser level too.
yeah. Well,
I already had a laser level. That's how I installed these things in the back. Laser levels are cool.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
are very cool. It's
We all have
green
laser
ones.
levels now. It's awesome.
Anyway, I'm not sure what I'm talking about. What was at my door? We were talking about what the heck, because we're not done yet. Actually, there was another thing, and that has to do with assist. So let's navigate away from here. Let's go to command and then to voice assistants.
Yeah.
Look at me navigating around with the quick keys. Do you want to talk about this one, Paulus?
Yeah, sure. So back in the days when we didn't, before we had assist, right? We only had Google and Amazon support for, and people don't always want to share everything with Google and Amazon. In fact, you want to share as little data as necessary to be useful for what you want to use it for. And so can you scroll down a little, or you don't have anything set up here? Oh yeah, you do. So here you can see that for both Amazon and Google, you could disable exposing new entities. That meant that as you add a new device to Home Assistant, it would not automatically be made available to Amazon or Google. Now, we had never added that toggle to Assist because we're like, Assist is awesome. Why would you not want to expose everything? But then we added AI. And you don't want to have AI have everything, access to everything, right? You want to curate and make sure, because just like Amazon and Google, well, AI is even more unpredictable. You don't know what it's going to do because it might interpret your question wrong or all these things. So we've added now this checkbox also to Assist. So can you scroll up again, Frank? There you go. Exactly the same toggles for the others. You can enable it, disable it, and it will, not expose your entities anymore.
So as soon as you turn this off, it becomes a manual job, which means you can do it more granularly and more, I don't know, moderated more. But
yeah,
and
if you want to expose things, there's a second tab on this config page where you can add entities that you want voice assistant to have access to, and you can see if they have access to Assist, Google, or Amazon, or all three, or whatever.
Yep. So really cool addition there. This little toggle button. People have been asking for it. Nice to see it landing in the month of what the heck.
Yeah.
And this month of what the heck was already filled with little things.
What is cool, because I don't know if we've explained, like, month of what the heck is where we allowed anyone to just say what's on their mind, right? You didn't have to provide logs, version numbers, screenshots. Just be like, why does this work the way it does? And then people were discussing it, things we got upvoted. And there's a lot of low-hanging fruit like these where, like, oh, wait a second, we can just add this in like, an hour or two, and let's just do it. The month of what the heck impact will be there for months, right? Like maybe years. Like we will be like, oh, look, people have already discussed this topic. We kind of know why people like it or not. It might be leads for products, to like research for the roadmap. Like they're going to categorize everything and see what people are thinking about, right? So it's a super valuable data source.
Yeah, and if it's like not low-hanging fruit, that's something that we can fix in one release. Right? You will see some of us actually interacting with the people in the forums, like me, Matthias, Paul, Annika, JLo. We're all like asking people to clarify like what they actually mean. Like, for example, a lot of people want a certain specific feature, right? But we want to make sure that like why people want that. So we would ask about like what use cases, like where would you use it? in what scenarios that you actually that pain point happens, and hopefully that clarifies it and help us develop the product. And a lot of times, like, it's not just about the number of votes, right? Anything that has like great user impact, we will prioritize it and then put it on our roadmap. Like, in fact, like last year's roadmap is very much prioritized by the previous month of What the Heck, as well as the feature requests.
The cool thing about this month, it's like often resonating for years, right? We make a 1 month snapshot basically of what the community is currently thinking of, instead of like something that's dragging along for a long time. And it's interesting in a way to see, because it changed a lot. If you look at 2 years back when we last did this, and we do this every 2 years, by the way, because otherwise the time is too short. But in those 2 years, a lot of things that have been requested in the previous edition, we actually did. Like if we look at last year, we added drag and drop that to our dashboard, right? Drag and drop came from a month of What the Heck actually a lot. We added labels and categories, which also originate from the month of What the Heck. And there's so much more in there, by the way. It's so cool to see. And some of the bigger features will take more time, or maybe are not crystallized yet, and that's where we're asking for things and such. But we'll see. It's a huge resource of input that helps us prioritize things and figure out what we can do. And this one has been resolved, right? The form no longer runs on a potato. So, yeah.
Yes.
What else do we have actually in this thing? We had the trigger sentence, we had automation saving, the hotkeys we talked about, which is cool. The toggle. There are a few more there in the release notes. Table filter for labels. So if you have a lot of labels in your system, not trying to navigate away very quickly. No, I need the command key. See, even I need to get used to the keys. Entities, here we go. And you had the filters. Let's say you had a lot of labels, then navigating these, and I'm zoomed in very much, so that's not really useful at all. But you can now filter those if you have a lot of them. So I could find the one. I'm not even sure what I have on this system. People. But yeah, you could.
And shout out to the community, right? Because I see a couple of familiar names to me, at least, because I'm on GitHub. I see Silamon has created this one. Thanks for that, Silamon. But I also see Carwoods does some awesome job. So shout out to the community contributors.
This is all community contributed. Everything in this month of What the Heck that has been resolved, except for the zooming. That's actually been done. Well, it's also communicated and contributed by Petar. This was nice. Yeah. So, month of What the Heck. This is a quick overview of what's in there, and you can read all about it back into the release notes. They've been listed.
When we talk about contributions, I just want to sidestep for a little step. We Madalena created together with Martin and Matthias a dashboard working group a couple of months ago. Within the community, a lot of UX product got together. We have a bunch of designs ready for new and updated cards. And if you are into front end and you like programming front end and you like to build cool and impactful stuff that a lot of people use, come to the front end repo. And I think the issues are there, Madalena.
So there's like a lot of things from small changes, like, like the font sizes of like the sensor cards that we want to standardize. Like, it should be pretty easy to fix, right? It's CSS, so if you want to like hone your CSS skills, feel free to join in. And
where should they go?
That's definitely contact us on the Discord channel. I would say the Home Assistant Discord channel. Contact me or Missy or Frank, anyone in the developers channel, and then we'll send you the right way. So it's like small things like that would be great. Like, first things, like if you want to familiarize yourself with the front end environment, that's a good way to start. And then there are like bigger projects, like we would love to build a clock card, or like we would like to build make the gauge card better, and like there are new designs for the media player card. Like these things would be great to
Yeah.
implement.
Yeah.
And last but not the least, like if you have like existing cards that are very popular right now, right? Like for example, like we had the Sankey diagram, and that is like in the process of being included as part of the one of the official cards of like within our dashboard. So like if you have like an awesome calendar agenda card or like things like that, like a lot of people love to use, we would love to have your contribution, not just as a third party card, but like let's try to integrate it as part of the official dashboard too.
And
Yeah.
we're open to provide help with that, right? Like
Yep.
it isn't as scary as some people sometimes think. Like we get a lot of contributions, and we're happy to help.
Yes.
So if you want to join the dashboard working group and interested, reach out to us on Discord. Like any of us personally, it's fine. We can help you navigating around and get you into the working group.
Thank you. Thanks for the mention, Paul.
Yeah, this is for the big things this release, I guess. I do have a bunch of integrations. Let me pick up the list here.
Should we go to the dashboard one first before we go to this?
We'll
This
get
way
there.
half and half.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Okay.
We'll get there. Believe me. So we have some new integrations here. Interesting, I find, is the iHeim. I hope I pronounce it good. The iHeim Digital. And the reason why I like it, it's digital aquarium devices. It's such a out of audit, like it's an oddity, right? It's such a weird
Fish
device that is fish assistant. Fishy. Anyways, it's cool to see some. It's not a light bulb, basically, right?
I mean, believe me,
like that.
like during our user interviews, I think we at least interviewed 2 people who have aquariums that they automate with Home Assistant.
I think that this is where we as Home Assistant or as smart home community should maybe do some more outreach, because we have all this technology in the smart home that is, if you think of your house as being the thing you're applying it to, then that's the hobby. But actually, if you're into aquariums and fish, Home Assistant technology is really good to have, observe the data. If you're into growing plants, grilling meat on your barbecue, there's a lot of different hobbies that can really benefit from just gathering data, graphing data, automating stuff. So that's the kind of the long tail that I actually wish we would incorporate more into Home Assistant, which I hope when we get our more dashboard sharing features going, we can work with these communities.
Yep.
Definitely. We'd love to see like dashboard blueprints in future that is like for aquariums, 3D printers, and so on.
Yep. Definitely goals.
Next release.
This was a big release. I think it's the last one too, and we had a few big releases. I'm looking forward to a more quiet one personally. Anyways, I probably will be.
There's a lot of people in the comments that saying they're running ESP Home or Home Assistant for their aquariums.
I've seen a lot of comments. It's so cool.
Nice.
Never really is that Fish Assistant. There's also iTouron, which is vehicles. I've never heard of that brand or interface. It's but at least if you're having one of those vehicles, you can use it again. And to stay in the vehicle ones, we have Ome or Omi. I'm not sure how it's pronounced. And Pepler, which I've added 2 EV chargers. I think it's really cool. If you're having EVs, it's cool to be able to monitor the power usage. In my case, I have a Pepler, so I can now monitor on the energy dashboard my EV usage.
We should add this to the energy dashboard, where we just put your car as a separate tracked resource
with a little icon, car icon to it. Yeah. Oh, that's actually a good idea. There we go. A month of What the Heck is in 2 years, Paulus. So
Oh shit.
So yeah, cool to see. I like that. PowerFox also electricity, water, and gas reading and heating. So that's cool. I like all those energy stuff. It's becoming more and more important. So good to see that stuff.
Yeah.
Slide.
This is an interesting story, right? Like, Slide is a curtain automation product that went bankrupt. Now it got kind of bootstrapped back, revived by this web shop called Rob Shop. And they said that, listen, if we get like 350 people to order one, we can do another manufacturing run. They added a local API to make this all possible, so you don't rely on any cloud, no ongoing costs. And they added that local API now to Home Assistant, which is awesome.
I don't see myself dancing like that for opening curtains, but
yeah, I have smart roller blades, like they, how do you call it? They roll up, and it's amazing. I have them in the evening automatically close, so I don't have to close them. In the morning, they automatically go up. I forgot to turn them off during the holidays. That was annoying because it was like 8 a.m. in the morning and it started to get like super bright. Like, I should have to like turn that one off. But I love automated curtains.
Me too. Like, also the Home Assistant voice has been amazing for me to control the blinds that I have. I love that I can just say, close the blinds, and I can say close the blinds to 50%, and it would just work.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Oh, nice.
One thing that I do is if the humidity of the bathroom is like beyond 50%, it would know that I'm in a shower and it would close the curtains automatically around the house.
I like that one.
That's actually good. I've replaced my central ventilation system last weekend, actually, by one of those Ito boxes, which is a Dutch like central ventilation box. And there's this Dutch tweaker that created like little chips that you can put in to use with Home Assistant then to see the humidity values and such directly from it. So I'm waiting for that one to arrive so I can. That's a good one to add, actually. That's cool. Yeah.
Talking about home approval factor, that's an automation that should work always.
Yes, that should not feel or not go up unexpectedly as well. Right? Yeah, especially that one would be bad. Yeah, no, I agree. Okay. Yeah, let's see what else. Some noteworthy things that are improved to existing integrations. TP-Link Smart Home now has support for cameras. Really cool to see that is landing. And to stay in the camera focus, there's a new product from Unify, which is called the Unify Protect AI port.
Yeah,
Paul is shaking his head. Okay, go ahead.
No, so on one hand, it's kind of interesting because what Unify Protect did as the way they can scale their platform is that AI is done inside the cameras, right? So you buy a Unify camera, that's like why they are like over $100 because there's a chip in there that is doing AI on the edge. And that means that you can have an NVR that's really just recording video and doesn't have to do AI processing, so you can scale to 50 cameras. But now, well, I was just mainly just like it's just a weird name. But what it's doing is they added support for ONVIF cameras, right? So ONVIF is an open standard, and those do not have AI built in. So how do you get the Unify Protect AI on those cameras? Well, they now added a box, right? So they have like a small AI box to add to these cameras. So it's cool. It's just like the whole, I know, it just feels a bit weird that it, like the way it all works and named, but if it works, it works.
Music Assistant. We love that one, right?
Yes.
It's now here with actions that return values, so you can actually feed it into your LLM or make automations that like search, I believe, and you can do magic with search results. I think JLo is doing a lot of with that stuff, right?
Yes. Yeah. He has his like in the morning he gets like woken up for like 30 minutes or something, and then every room he set up his voice PE to be able to double click on the middle button because those are automatable, right? And then he double clicks, the music is brought to that room. So he goes to his living room, he double clicks, now his music is playing there. He goes to his office, double clicks, the music is playing there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's actually a pretty cool idea. Okay.
And he moves from out of his car to his house. His music follows him, right? So he stops in the car.
We had a few years back during the Corona, somebody that showed off like a follow along music. That was actually pretty cool. They had tracking in the house, and he just walked to the Home Assistant conference. Yeah, and he walked around, and the music would literally follow him as a person around the house, which is really cool without interaction. It was a really impressive demo, by the way. I think it was from
2020.
2020, yeah.
Yeah, when we announced the blue and blueprints.
That's
And
still
we
on
had
the
like a multi-track conference, all hosted at the same time.
Yep. It was an amazing time, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, some other small things, some new Bluetooth for Switch bot. That's cool. Starlink now adds reporting for power, energy, and data usage. Does the satellite thing use that much energy? I don't know. Probably.
I don't
But
know.
you cannot track it, so you know. And yeah, Cambridge Audio supports media browsing, which is cool. But to get to media browsing, we will talk about that a little bit as well, because there's more media browsing to explore this release. Available to set up through the UI is Nico Home Control this release, which is really cool. And we've said goodbye to a couple of integrations. One is DTE Energy. The bridge, you couldn't get API keys. It was no longer functional. If you turned on the device and it was online, it will update itself into a way that you cannot use it anymore. There were no usage reported, actually, so it's time to clean it up.
Yeah.
Simulated was cleaned up too, and Stalk Alert, which is a little bit of a weird one. It's a Dutch government thing where they tell you can put on your fireplace or not. They stopped updating the data source, and the government is actually pointing to another data source they have, which is Stokewiser, which delivers basically the same data, for which we also have an integration.
Yeah.
So yeah, use that one instead.
Yeah.
Right. Other noteworthy changes. We talked about Control F to search in the browser already. Marcin also worked for Nobelcasa. He actually did his first front-end PR. So thank you, Marcin, for contributing there. If you add a card to your Home Assistant to your dashboard, it will automatically focus on the search. You actually can start typing right away to search the right card you want to add. Nice little quality of life, right? This one is important, and we'll get back to that in a second, because Madalena is like really wanting to show you all of that. But if you upload image through Home Assistant, images from Home Assistant, you can actually browse that in a media source. And
I'll show you that in a second.
We'll why that is important, she will show.
Yep.
Yeah, unit of measurement to show. We have support from, this is not the M from megawatt, but it's milliwatt hour. And milliwatts for electrical potential. So that's cool. It's in preparation for Matter, I believe.
Yes.
And the logbook card, I like this one, by the way, from of Solomon. Solomon added support for the target selector to the logbook card. And the cool thing about that is that you can essentially like make a logbook card that tracks, for example, everything that's labeled Christmas, or maybe like track, well, that's a little bit late for it. Christmas is now over, right? But maybe track everything that's happening in the living room, so you can actually make a logbook card for a specific area. It's kind of nice that target support is there. Really cool. But then, Madalena.
Oh, yeah. Whoa, yes. Okay.
What to do with those uploaded images here?
Should I share my screen? This is the best feature of this release. Wait, I just forgot that there's a backup feature, but but yeah, this is a really good feature too. So let me resize this. As you can see, this is a fun dashboard here. It's like my astrometrics dashboard showing the space weather, and you can see the great solar system right there. The Jupiter is over there, but you know the background's a little plain, isn't it? It's just gray. I want to spice it up a little bit. So what can I do? Well, let me try edit my dashboard. So previously we added a feature called dashboard background, but now in this release, we have greatly expanded the dashboard background options to be a lot more flexible, and it's capable of doing a lot more different combinations of backdrops. So let's see. I'm gonna add a picture. Let me browse something quickly. I would want to have a tile. So let's. This is about stars, right? Let's just put some stars in the background, and I will press save. Okay, so first of all, if you just apply it like that, the tile's way too big, I think. So there are actually some options that can help you to make the backdrop look better. So first of all, you can change the background size. So here I can use the view, which means that the width of the wallpaper. Oh, actually, how to say it, the smaller dimension, so either the width or the height of the wallpaper will be the smaller one would equal to like the width or the height of the screen.
I mean,
So
it's just stretched out until it
you'll
covers the whole place.
cover the whole thing proportionally. So it's not like stretch either, right? It just makes sure everything fit. Fit view means that it would like fit the whole picture inside the frame, and it would try not to crop the picture in any way. So, but if I do original, which we are a bit smaller, which is good for this particular tile, because what I can do is to have the repeat tile option so that I can have either no repeat or repeat. So in this case, like if I just repeat, no repeat, it would be just like this at the bottom, which looks a little weird. Ooh, and then I can actually change it to repeat. So in this case, it would cover the entire background with stars, which is, it looks all right. So there are a few more options for you to change. So one of them is the alignment of the background, and the other is the attachment of the background. So let's take a look at attachment first. What this means is that when you scroll the dashboard, whether the background would scroll with it or not. Right now it's fixed, so that as I scroll the page, you can actually see that the background stays at the same space. I can actually change it to scroll, and what that would do is that when I scroll the page, it would actually scroll with the content itself. So like this, which is cool for a tile background. But right now, right, as you can see, the stars are white, the text is white, which is still very distracting. So we want to make sure that like you have a pretty background, but at the same time, you do not make a dashboard that have the background distracting itself from the contents of the dashboard. So we added another option here, which is the background opacity. So the default of the background opacity is actually set to just 30%, which is actually quite good. And that would allow the stars to be dimmer that way, so that it doesn't like clash too much with the content of the page. So here's one example, right? So if I look at another example, instead of using the star tiles, I actually really like this picture of the nebula from that was taken by the James Webb Telescope. Right, this is a cool picture, and the default settings. If I just use the default settings, which is 33% viewing the view in a fixed attachment, it actually would look pretty good by default, like this already. But I want to do even better. One thing is I can actually crop the background in a different way. So I can actually clear a picture. And then let me upload a version that is cropped so that the nebula is just at the bottom of the page. And what I can do is I can turn up the opacity a little bit and have the background alignment to be aligned at the bottom. So what that would do is that now that like I have the window, so no matter how much I resize the window, the nice orange part of the nebula will stays at the bottom, which makes it nice for like different screen sizes. So that's another example. So last but not the least for demo is, well, if I change my mind and I actually want to use, I want to see more of the nebula, which is the other picture that I uploaded. Now you have the option to browse the image that you have previously uploaded. So instead of just adding pictures, there's now a little link here that is called Select from Media. And when you click on it, it will load up the media browser. And you can see all the things that I uploaded previously. And now you can have you can find the other wallpaper that you have uploaded, and you can change the settings, and then you can click save.
Nice.
Luckily, I never uploaded anything strange to my wallpaper before. For live
Live
demo.
demos. It's awesome. Huh?
We're living on the edge here.
Cool. So yeah, so that is the updated dashboard wallpaper features and also the updated select media dialog. Cool.
There's a question here which I find interesting. I get that actually. A parallax effect would be cool.
That's a good
Not a
idea.
bad idea. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, someone should try to implement it. We're waiting for your PR. Yes.
But yeah, who cares? No, thank you.
I mean, it would be cool. I wonder how that
Yeah.
can be implemented.
Somebody's asking where the images are stored. They are stored in your config directory, and they are included in backups if you select media.
Yep.
I think so.
Yeah. This is
Yeah.
cool.
Hey, this is actually good. I see Neutral Alias saying, "Have you already liked this stream? If you are watching on YouTube, please
Ooh.
like, please subscribe, please hit that bell. You know,
Yeah.
all the important
All the
things.
things.
All
Yeah,
the
then-
Make
important
sure we
things.
stay in your feed. You know, because we're just going to be dropping bangers every month this year. So
Yep.
We are?
all bangers all year.
This would be a pace hard to keep up, to be honest. But
No,
we'll
that's-
do our best, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of stuff coming
Yeah.
down the pipe, to be honest.
I just saw somebody asking like how many backups have been uploaded to Home Assistant Cloud. 1100, I think was the latest, 1200, over a terabyte of data.
Oh, that's actually a lot.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Hey, there's one more little gem left,
Oh.
to be honest. And let me bring up my instance here, because I have a few tile cards here with thermostat is not available. I don't know why. Doesn't matter for this system. Ignore. Anyways, there's a little thing here, which is my big, huge boombox that's here, which is actually a Sonos Move, by the way. So it's not that big of a boombox. But this is my multimedia player. It actually works. I'm not going to turn it on. I'm not going to wake up people. However, there's a little new tile card feature here that's related to this, which I wanted to showcase. You can actually now add.
Nice.
Nice.
Right?
Nice.
But this
That's
is, I like this one bigger, to be honest. Let me change that.
Enhance.
Enhance. Here we go.
Nice.
Look at that, like this slider. So this boombox can really go loud now, right? There we go.
Let's get loud.
Nice little addition.
Yes.
Look at that. Almost looks the same as the screenshot. You would almost think that I used that system to make this one. Anyways, I did. Actually, I was playing music at that time. It was a good song. Backwards incompatible changes. That's what's left. And we don't have many. This is it. But you should definitely look into it. The thing that I want to highlight probably is Unify Network, because that's quite a popular integration. But we have changed the states of the device state sensor to be more in standard. So they're now lowercase. So the only thing that changed is basically that they're all now lowercase and spaces have become underscores. So if you have an automation that relies on them, you might need to update those.
Yeah.
But this would probably be the biggest change in this release here. Yeah. Like we removed the unit of measurement from one wire counters because count is not really a unit of measurement, right? And this one pops up a few times, actually. It has been cleaned up. So yeah, not too many here, but definitely something you should look into if there's an integration that you're using. There's also our developer blog. If you're a developer or contributor, definitely check out that blog. We keep a track of the bigger changes that happening that are more technical and under the hood that might interest you. And every month I try to add a list here.
Yeah, we didn't blog about it, but we do have documentation on backup agents too. So.
Oh, yes, we do have really good documentation on the backup agents. And that's why we already seen a few backup agents pop up, I guess. So that's good.
Backup agents are also known as locations.
Oh, yeah, locations. They provide locations.
Locations in the UI, backup agents in the backend.
Backend.
Yeah.
If you're interested in looking at everything else that changed, and there are 1,200 changes or something in this release, you can always dive into like the real source here and then look into like the a huge list of changes that we have nicely put together and smashed down into release notes. But there's a lot more in here, as you can see. It's crazy.
I mean, there's still more coming in, right? Have we merged every PR from Month of What the Heck yet?
No, there's more flowing in.
Yeah, that's amazing.
There's definitely more flowing in. There's another thing to explore this month. There's also a new blog post called 321 Backup. If you really want to know more about like all the backup changes and what 321 Backup actually entails, there's a blog post about that you definitely should check out too. So there's some additional context beside like what changed in Home Assistant. There's also a blog post now on backups in general that you can look into. So definitely check that one out as well.
Nice.
Right?
Wow. That's 2 hours.
4 minutes to spare. We did
4
well.
minutes to spare. Well, I have. If you've been watching until now and you like what we're doing, please subscribe to Home Assistant Cloud by Nabokasa. Not only does it pay for the salaries of people to work on Home Assistant full time to help guide the community, organize the community, but also you get cloud backups. You can offsite store your backups. You get text to speech, speech to text for use with Home Assistant voice.
And that one is so good.
Yes.
Remote access. You get integration with Google. You get integration with Amazon. Your mobile phone will communicate through cloud hooks to have a better connection. Your cameras are having a turn server so that in even the weirdest network scenarios where you might open your Home Assistant dashboard, you can still see your cameras. Like, there's a lot of benefit you get from the subscription, but you also support all the work we do, which is the most important thing, because without the support of the community, we couldn't do these things, right? We have no investors. There's nothing, right? Like, I donated Home Assistant to a foundation. This is a non-profit. It cannot be bought. It cannot be sold. It cannot be enshittified. So it relies on people like you to support us. And then we're just going to keep building cool stuff for the community and for the users.
Nothing to add.
Some questions here.
35 likes? Just that?
Yeah, we need more likes.
Well, everybody's on their couch. How do you like when you're on your couch? You just sit back. Just like it later.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's one question here. That's could quite good. I think we can answer that.
Oh yeah. So it's totally possible to log into Home Assistant Cloud and not even log into Home Assistant Cloud, or to subscribe to Home Assistant Cloud and not log in your Home Assistant instance to Home Assistant Cloud. But also inside your Home Assistant instance, you can disconnect it from Home Assistant Cloud. So if you only want the backup option, that is possible. If you only want to use Amazon or Google or whatever, everything is turn-offable. That's not a word, but yes.
In fact, a lot of our users subscribe to Home Assistant Cloud, right? Just because they want to support us too, which is a very great reason to do so.
We might publish some more data on that when we process all the survey results, maybe.
Yep. Yeah, still in progress right now. Actually, if you haven't done that yet, let me share the screen quickly for that we have the community survey going on right now. So if you are share this tab right now, which is right here. If we're asking for feedback for our community, that will help us to understand like our demographics better and also help guide our roadmap going forward. Annika, our senior user researcher, helped us a lot with building this survey. It's a long survey. It takes about 20 to 30 minutes. There's a halfway point that you can save, by the way. So like if you like need time to stop, like you can do that. But your feedback is very valuable to us and will help us like drive the future of Home Assistant. So please check that out. You can see the link on our blog, which is on the Home Assistant blog right here. So let me see if I can post a link. Which is this one. Cool.
Nice.
And last but not the least, I actually do want to mention one thing I just forgot about. For the wallpapers, is that
Yeah. Sorry.
yes, more about wallpapers is that I actually just created a thread. I want to organize a mini contest, not like anything crazy, but it's like if you are like someone who is great at like design skills and like you want to transform like Home Assistant dashboard into a work of art, I would love to see your creation of like dashboard wallpapers. So like if you have like some wallpapers that you think would look really cool and complement everyone's dashboards, the winners will pick it and we'll try to include it in like future versions of Home Assistant as the part of the default.
That'd be really cool.
Pretty cool. Yes.
Cool.
So yeah, if you have a cool creation, post it on the forums. Join us.
Paul's had a good, cool new creation actually this moment now because everybody's talking about it now.
Year of the
Turn
word of the
offable.
Word of the year.
turn offable word of the yeet.
Turn offable. That's a honest typo. Turn offable. I like it.
Turn
Yeah.
offable. Someone did ask about what is this year's theme, by the way, earlier. And the answer is we have a roadmap and we're still following our roadmap. So
Yep.
you can check out the roadmap that is on our blog right now. We're still on the 2024 roadmap. When we're done with the survey and all that, we'll announce it hopefully at State of the Open Home for the 2025.
Yes, April, State of the Open Home. 2025 roadmap 2025 will be announced.
Yes.
And lots of other cool stuff. Okay, I think we have to call it a wrap. We're already 3 minutes past.
Yes. And if you want to continue a little bit or have a question, by the way, want to discuss anything or ask us anything personal, some of us, I'm not sure if all of us going there, so I cannot speak for everybody, but we generally have like a public after party on our Discord server. There's this stage channel there you can go. If you go to the stage, we will be there. You can raise your hand and just come on stream and see on Discord and talk and ask a question. So if you want to hang out a little bit, go there, join the stage and have some fun and feel free to ask us anything. So let's go. See you there.
Nice.
But that's it.
I have to change the outro video.
All right.
Sorry, this is like super.
I only changed the intro one. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I'm changing the outro video.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone.
Happy New Year. Thank you.
Happy New Year. Thank you all.
Yes.
Turn on those backups, by the way. It's
Yes.
important.
Yeah.
Put them on. 8 seconds. 8
Yes.
seconds.
Let's do it.
All right.
Fine.
Au revoir.